resume with our Before we continue or resume with our afternoon session, let me once again plug and promote the upcoming trainings sponsored by the Apotham Learning Center. For those who are new in the platform, we are going to have instructional supervision training, which will be happening on October 4, 11, 18, and 25, 2025. This 12-hour program, classified under the curriculum and pedagogy domain, is recognized under the expanded career progression system for teachers, Debit Order number 24 Series 2025. You'll earn 5 certificates while deepening your skills in key areas such as assessments of learning, lesson study, design thinking, and inclusive education. Next, we invite you to join the webinar workshop titled Digital Learning Revolution, Advancing Digital Skills and Ethical Awareness in the Classroom. From October 24 to 26, 2025, this pre-accredited program offers 10 CPD credit units and 24-hour training. Focus on integrating artificial intelligence into teaching while promoting ethical digital engagement. It's aligned with the expanded career progression system and designed to foster transformative and ethical digital learning environments. Registration fees start at 500 pesos for early birds until October 5. And then finally, be part of the comprehensive 60-hour masterclass on transformational leadership and instructional supervision, your gateway to advancing through the expanded career progression system for teachers. This program, running on select dates in November 2025, helps strengthen your credentials for promotions from teacher 4 up to principal, develop competencies aligned with the PPST, and equips you with the practical skills and supervisions, data-driven decision-making, and ethical leadership. Enjoy an early bird rate of 1,500 until October 15. So please, it is already flashed on the screen, the upcoming trainings. And of course, do not forget to follow our official Facebook and YouTube channel, which is the Professional Development for Teachers. And also we have Apotham Learning Center, our accounts in Instagram, Thread, and TikTok. So please follow those pages and channel for you to be updated on the upcoming training sponsored by the Apotham Learning Center. So at this juncture, we have 47 participants in attendance. So I think, Sir Ryan, are we ready to resume this afternoon?
Yes, sir. I'm very much ready to continue with the session this afternoon.
Thank you so much, sir. So at this juncture, dear participants, we shall now resume our discussion on the effective supervision and support of classroom teachers with, again, Sir Ryan Casulang. Please give him a round of virtual applause. Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you very much, Sir Jerome. Tama ba, Sir Jerome? Sa dami ng kakilalang teachers. Thank you very much po. Am I clear po?
Yes, sir.
Okay. A while back, we finished our discussion on the characteristics of supervision. Let me recall it for you guys. We have 4 characteristics. We have developmental, supportive, collaborative, and reflective. Now we proceed to our next concept. Our supervision have types. There are 3 of them. We have the non-directive, collaborative, and directive. These are just very simple concepts. When your supervision is non-directive, meaning to say you're giving the teachers the opportunity to decide, to grow, to explore, that's non-directive. You let them You let them be as they pursue their programs, activities, projects, and whatever they do, which are in connection with teaching and learning. Now, another one is collaborative. You take part. Okay, you are involved in the planning. You are involved in the administration or implementation, and then you're involved in the assessment of the program or the activity or the strategy or technique. Uh, and as far as supervision is concerned, and directive. This one is maybe hard for some teachers, but this also helps. This is part of the types of supervision. Sometimes we really have to direct when no one is doing things correctly, not perfectly, but correctly. But we have to move in and direct what's going to happen next. So I hope directive supervision happens from time to time, not all the time. We should be on the collaborative side, and later on we empower teachers to achieve heights because of our non-directive supervision. We trust them that they will accomplish tasks and achieve heights because we have equipped them with the necessary technical assistance that they need prior to the conduct of whatever activity related to teaching and learning. So guys, these are the three types of supervision. Again, non-directive, you let the teachers. Collaborative, you take part. Directive, you give uh, imperative instruction so that the work will be done. Now, according to Glickman's development supervision, um, leadership should be supervision as leadership should be for the improvement of instruction. Let me be clear here, as highlighted, supervision is viewed not as a role or a position. It should be a function and process. It should be a verb. It should be an action word. It should not be a noun. Supervision should not be a noun, although it's technically a noun. But um, uh, it should be, I sorry, verb supervision, but you're supervising. It should be an action word. It should be something that we do. It should be something that has results. That's supervision. Now, there are three concepts here. First, the ultimate goal is to help teachers grow toward higher levels of thought and autonomy. Our end goal should be our teachers are autonomous in accomplishing the tasks, in carrying out the tasks, because we have laid the foundation for them to grow, because we have assisted them prior to their autonomy. We have provided everything that they need prior to their doing it on their own phase. That's the ultimate goal. Grow toward higher levels of thought and autonomy. They should be at the point where they are already emotionally stable, emotionally mature to come up with sound decisions. That's because you did your part in the past. The second one is it must be differentiated based on the teacher's needs, abilities, and readiness. Um, this is a plague in our organization. We tend to compare our teachers. We tend to generalize. Most of the time we generalize. As school leaders, we generalize. This shouldn't be the case. Our teachers have different abilities, and these abilities have have different and varying levels of contribution to the organization. So we should be doing away with comparing our teachers. We should be inspiring them. We should be boosting their morale. We shouldn't be looking at the things that they do badly, although we recognize that there are things to be rectified or corrected. But let's limit our comparison between and among these teachers. Um, their abilities, you need to know their abilities. And how do you do that? You profile. You spend time with them. Don't don't imprison yourself in your office with 10 degrees Celsius of cool air. Be with them in their hot days. Be with them in their challenging times. That's when you will know their abilities. And that's when they will know your abilities as well as a leader. Be with them. And readiness. Um, Teachers should be ready before any task. And for them to be ready, you need to orient them. You need to let them know what's going to happen, what's expected of them to do with those given tasks. And finally, teachers operate at different levels of professional development. That's why we have career stages. That's why we have different levels. That's why we have different accomplishments, because we have varying skills. Uh, we have our own pace in reaching such a professional development pace. So we have varying speed in achieving things and finishing things. But of course, we need to let them know, orient them about urgency, the sense of urgency. While we have varying levels of achievement, we need to bear in mind the sense of urgency. We need to we need to do it as fast as we can, but not compromising quality, because our activities in DepEd in in other agencies are timed. It's rated by time with time, so we need to consider those. While they have varying levels of accomplishment and skills, we they need to bear in mind sense of urgency. That's important. Now let's go some checkup. Have some check of what we know already so far. Here, you're going to determine which career stage each of these belong to. For example, number one, we have four career stages. If you remember, we have career stages 1 to 4, from beginning up to distinguished professionals. Now, here, flash on the screen is one example. They create lifelong impact in the lives of their colleagues, students, and others. What do you think is the career stage for this? You can key in your answer in the chat box. Which career stage does this belong to? Is it 1, 2, 3, or 4? Okay, I'm seeing answers already. Sam answered 3, 4 with question mark. Ma'am Roma answered the question mark. It's a safe answer. Smart answer. Okay, others 4, 3, 3. And 3, I am seeing a lot of 3 and 4. Okay, I'm going to close the opportunity to answer for this one in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The answer is career stage 4, creating lifelong impact in the lives of their colleagues. This is already holistic. This is already totality, leaving an impact, leaving a mark. That's your being part of the distinguished career professional. Next, let's go to the next. They manifest and sorry, they manifest an in-depth, that should be an in-depth and sophisticated understanding of the teaching and learning process. Which career stage does this belong? Okay, I'm seeing 3, 3, 3. Okay, most all of you are answering 3. Alam na namin yan, sir, kasi nakuha na yung 4. So, most probably 3 ito. Okay, the correct answer is career stage 3 indeed, correct. The key word here is manifest. Okay, they manifest an in-depth and sophisticated understanding. Okay, they possess it. Now let's go to the next. We have they manage learning programs and have strategies that promote learning based on the learning needs of their learners. It's between 2 and 1. Okay, ang sabi ni Sir Jamal, it's 2. Sabi ni Ma'am Roma, it's 2. Sabi ni Ma'am Claire, it's 2. Sabi ni Ma'am Annalyn, it's 3. Sabi ni Sir Aljon, 2. Sir Edison, 2. Okay, majority ay nagsasabi ng 2. Hindi pwede kasing carry dito. Hindi porke marami tama. Okay? Tingnan natin. The answer is, ayan lumabas, career stage 1. Walang sumagot ng career stage 1. Hala, biglang napabuklat ng kanilang reference ng PPST. Managing learning programs and have strategies that promote learning based on the learning needs of their learners. It's career stage 1. Now let's go to the next, the last one. Of course, the answer here will be career stage 2. Correct. Wala na kasing ibang choice. Yun na lang yun. The answer is career stage 2. Provide focused teaching programs that meet curriculum and assessment requirements. This is translatable to giving interventions. KRA is the KRA of the master teacher to be leading intervention activities to cope with the demands of the curriculum, especially when the learners are failing their examinations or failing to submit requirements. It's the job of the master teacher, of course, in collaboration with the proficient teachers. I know you're wondering why the answer for the previous one is career stage 1. It's embedded in PPST debit order number 42 series 2017. You can look it up and verify later. Or if I'm wrong, then I'm sorry. But I know it's right. Okay, we proceed. Ito po yung pinanggalingan yan. This is an excerpt of debit order number 42 series 2017. For career stage 1, the beginning teachers, they have gained the qualifications recognized for entry in the teaching profession. So ito po, kasama po dito mga kapatid yung pre-service teachers sa career stage 1, beginning teachers. 1, 2, 3, 4. The fourth statement, they manage learning programs. So it belongs to career stage 1. For career stage 2, proficient teachers, these are your teachers 1 to 3. Proficient teachers. Display skills, provide, engage, reflect. Professionally independent in the application of skills vital to the teaching and learning process. That's career stage 2. For career stage 3, these are your master teachers, highly proficient teachers. They manifest an in-depth and sophisticated understanding of teaching and learning process. High education focus, situation cognition, are more adept or expert in problem solving and optimize opportunities. Nasa KRA po ito ng mga master teachers. They continually seek to develop their professional knowledge and practice by reflecting on their own needs. So, yung mga gusto maging master teachers dito, dapat reflective kayo. What do you need to succeed? What do you need to improve para mag-succeed kayo sa career stage na to? Career stage 4, they exhibit exceptional capacity to improve their own teaching and practice, that of others. They create lifelong impact in the lives of colleagues, students, and others. They exhibit commitment to inspire the education community and stakeholders for the improvement of education provision in the Philippines. There's already a revision of this alignment because of the career progression issued just recently. The paradigm on this, maybe we can just send you the image, but I believe this was communicated properly by the Department of Education, the career stage framework. To which path are you going to go? If you want to be a school leader, then from master teacher you detour to admin. Or if you want to become a classroom teacher until you retire, you stay on course being a master teacher up to master teacher 5. We only have 2 paths here, either classroom teaching or admin or leadership. That's what you're going to do. Although master teachers have leadership KRAs, we focus on the improvement of teaching and learning, primarily teaching and learning. That's your KRA master teacher. For the admin, governance, logistics, processes, those are some of your KRAs. We have messages. Okay, those are just answers. We proceed. I will not be dwelling in this part for too long because you have the copy of this. If you don't have, please download DepEd Order number 42, Series 2017. That's your PPST. Now, based on DepEd Order number 2, Series 2015, or the Results-Based Performance Management System, now called the PMS, the Performance Management Evaluation System, revised just last year. This is our performance management system framework. It's still true up to now. The DepEd RPMS framework. We have two questions here, the what and the how. What? Strategic priorities, department or functional area goals, KRAs, and objectives. These are the things that we need to accomplish, we need to achieve. These are the things that we need to set. Of course, guided by mission, vision, and values, our VMV. We need to consider our department, vision, mission, and values. And how are we going to attain all these? We have our values to bank on, to anchor on, and our competencies. However we plan things, if we don't have the values and competencies, we will fail. So we need to possess values and competencies for us to realize this what's our priorities. Are we prioritizing strategically? Are we functional in our area or department? Are we aware of our KRAs or the key result areas in our objectives? Do we know what to achieve in this period, say, of the school year? We should know about it as future school leaders or school leaders if you are already school leaders. Now we have hierarchy here. The center, no, not center. The bottom part is the schools, but the school should be the center of the operations of DepEd. Everything emanates from the field. So this is the very, very important component of our organization, the schools, governed by the division, the region, and the central office. So all these components of the department are guided by our VMVs. Importante po ang VMVs natin. This is the RPMS framework. All that we do are rated, all that we do are listed, all that we do are enumerated in the standards that they cascaded to us through DO2 2015 and DO42 Series 2017. It's really, really important that we have a grasp of this framework. Now, since we are going to be classroom supervisors, if you are a school head, a head teacher, a master teacher, you are a classroom observer or a classroom supervisor, you should be aware of the performance measures. There are three gauges to this. The first one is effectiveness or quality. Quality or effectiveness is the extent to which actual performance compares with targeted performance. There will never know quality if you don't have a standard to compare it with. So there must be a standard. That's why we have the O42 Series 2017, so that we can refer to the guidelines embedded in those domains, in those strands. Whatever we want to see in our teachers must be seen first in our standards. So we cannot say that this is perfect if we don't have a basis for its perfection. Meaning, how do we say that 75% is a passing rate if we don't know the standard? So we should have a standard. It's the degree to which objectives are achieved and the extent to which targeted problems are solved. Effectiveness relates to getting the right things done. Okay, let me emphasize, let's get the right things done. It's not just about getting things done, but getting the right things done. That's quality. Now for efficiency, it's the extent to which time or resources is used for the intended task or purpose. It is also coupled with productivity, with initiative, with resourcefulness. That's efficiency. It measures whether targets are accomplished with a minimum amount or quantity of waste, expense, or unnecessary effort. We don't want training retraining. We don't want to be iterative in training teachers who are already there for so long and they don't keep tab of the things that they should have learned in the past. we keep teaching them what to do as if they are newcomers. This shouldn't be the case. Our teachers should be efficient, meaning we should only be orienting them once or twice, and then later on they'll be doing it on their own. That's efficiency. This time it's doing the things right. While we get the right things done, we do the things right. That's efficiency, because we don't want to waste resources. We don't want to spend a lot of money, resources, because we are inefficient. And timeliness. While you plan your activities, while they plan their activities, while they achieve milestones, they achieve successes, it should be timely. Addressing the problems in the classroom should be timely. When do you do interventions to students? What is the perfect time for you to conduct intervention to your students? The perfect time to conduct interventions is right there and then. The principle of right there and then, meaning when you're in class and you're conducting formative assessments, you're asking questions, and the learners are having difficulty providing answers, then you intervene right away. You do things to rectify their uh, misconceptions or misunderstanding. You support, complement their understanding by providing more opportunities for them to express their ideas, their learning, to manifest their learning right there and then. After the conduct of periodic examinations, it should be done. That's why you have your performance level evaluation after the periodic exam. You have your item analysis before and after the exam. Yes, you heard it right. Item analysis should be done before and after periodic exam. Item analysis is done before so that you will be able to identify your discrimination index and your difficulty index. That's important. We have tools already fielded which you can use to easily calculate for this, and then adjust your assessment materials so that the results will be sound, reliable, and valid. That's really, really important. In an assessment, there should be validity and reliability. It provides you with the same results. It measures what it intends to measure. That's validity and reliability. That's important. And that's timeliness. Time-related performance indicators evaluate such things as project completion deadlines, time management skills, and other time-sensitive expectations. So these three guys, the performance measures, important. These are very, very important. Effectiveness or quality, efficiency, and timeliness. Please don't forget these things when you observe classes. Now, part 4 of our IPCR is the development plan, or the IPP, the individual development plan for teachers. Why do we have to discuss this? Because you want to be supervisors, you want to be school leaders. You should know the strengths and the development needs of your teachers. This is where you're going to depend your future programs, projects, and activities. Your decision should be data driven. You should know their strengths. Maybe teachers who are manifesting strengths in these areas may be given tasks to help others, peer tutoring, peer collaboration, peer assisted activities. You can put them in those roles. And of course, the development needs, these should be basis for future trainings. You shouldn't be planning training for the sake of spending money. You should be planning trainings based on the needs of the teachers. Those who have already undergone trainings for the same topic should be given different areas to learn, to study. They shouldn't be exposed to the same concepts, seminars over and over again. Maybe if there are updates, then that's when you can let them repeat the same training, but with updates. And the action planning for how long will you be able to accomplish the steps that you lay down in your plan, timeline and resource needed. The resources are either logistical or human resource or financial resource. You need to include them there. Okay, it's important that you go about the IPPDs of your teachers. You need to synthesize the IPPDs of your teachers, because that's going to be a sound basis for your future professional learning and development programs, or PD programs. Now, let's go through this very quickly. We want to develop teachers. Because we want to be leaders, therefore, we need to scout strengths. We need to profile teacher strengths. So, how do we do that? We do these strategies, geographical cross-posting, meaning you assign them from one place to another, not necessarily to other schools. Or maybe you give them the opportunity to get promoted and be transferred to a bigger school for bigger opportunities. That's doable. Seminars and workshops such as this, coaching and counseling. You work on coaching and counseling at the same time. Formal education or classes. The University of the Philippines is offering a lot of free um, online classes, which you can maximize, make use of them. And this one, of course, the trainings provided by Apothem, you can always go back to this platform and learn a lot of things here. Benchmarking, you visit schools, places, not necessarily government offices. You can visit private schools and look at how they do things. And you can include that in your budgetary plans so that it can be covered by MOE. That's doable. Functional cross-posting. You let people from different areas or sections to work together. Say one from IT group, one from math, one from English. You put them together so that they'll be able to share insights and come up with desirable results in a given task. Job enhancement. Maybe from time to time you escalate the challenge that you give to your teachers. Let's not be complacent. They should grow. They must grow. Assignment to task forces, committees, special projects. Don't assign the same people to the same task over and over again. Uh, Make it varied. Differentiate your tasks. And lateral career move. Let go. Learn to let go. You may have talents in your school and you don't want them to get promoted because you will be left behind. No, that shouldn't be our mindset. We should let them go and let them grow. You should let them experience moving to another station for their career progression, career development. We do that for the love of work and for the love of teachers. Okay, now in developing teacher strengths, we need to remember the 70-20 model. Let's go to 70-20-10 model. We go to the 10%. The Department of Education does not like us to learn and develop through structured courses and programs all the time. We only learn through education for about 10%. Formal education, say your master's, of course, it's required, but we dedicate only a few years of our lifetime in studying because, say, in master's, you only get to study. If you're continuous in your studying, then you will just have to spend at most 3 years to finish your master's. So uh, that's what they mean by the 10%. The 70%, 70-20 is learning and developing through others, through socialization, through collaboration with peers, and learning and developing through experience. That's 70%. All the tasks that we are given or we give to our teachers form part of the development of the teacher. These are experiential in nature, experiential learning and development. If we're done studying and finish our master's and our doctorate degree, we're done. Unless we continuously have short courses, then that's still useful. But we really learn when we engage with other people. So we follow the 70-20-10 model. Let's not make our teachers complacent and content with whatever they have achieved already. We give them opportunities to grow. They should be planted. They should grow where they are planted. This is just an elaboration, so I will not be going through those. The 10% also encapsulates the courses, workshops, seminars, e-learning. This one should be actualized later. This training here that we're doing right now should be actualized later. When you get promoted, please actualize everything that we have discussed here, or maybe do better, surpass the concepts that we have presented here, because I know you can and you must. Now, here are legal basis as to the performance measures of our teachers. There are four classes of competencies as follows: the core behavioral competencies, leadership competencies, staff core skills, and teaching competencies. These are intended for different people. Say in part two, leadership competencies, the third level, the chief and assistant chief, school heads and department heads. This will be you guys, part two. These are your competencies. You must have managerial competencies. You must have leadership competencies for these managerial positions. For the teaching related, you have the staff core skills. It's really, really important. The clerical ones, it's important. Now, let's go to you being a leader. If you can see uh, the comic, the caricature, the first character asks, "How do you feel about your progress?" And then the other one answers, "I feel that I need to improve on." This one is reflective in nature because the teacher, the subordinate, is reflecting on improving in some areas. There are three strategies that we can do as we become leaders. We have to coach, we have to mentor, and we have to counsel, provide counseling rather. The first one, coaching, enables learning and development to occur and thus improve performance. Between coaching and mentoring, which do you think is a lot longer or takes a long time to do? Is it coaching or mentoring? Please key in your answer in the chat box. Okay, is it coaching or mentoring? I'm seeing mentoring as the answer. Mentoring is offline help by one person to another in making significant transitions in knowledge, work of thinking. We'll see about that later if it's really mentoring that's taking too long of a time to do than coaching. Thank you very much for your answers. We have counseling, a principled relationship characterized by the application of one or more psychological theories and a recognized set of communication skills modified by experience, intuition, and other interpersonal factors that clients' intimate concerns, problems, or aspirations. This is where all the values come in because this is counseling. This is based on experience. We give insights, feedback on how we went through all these things that we are talking about, say in a counseling session. So we cannot actually share anything that we have not experienced yet. So that's part of counseling. We base our insights on our previous experiences, maybe directly or indirectly. Now, I'm sorry, I got this wrong. I got this prepared badly, this part. I should have be doing this in a way that you're going to choose between coaching and mentoring. But anyways, here it is. So let's deal with this. I already have given the answer. I would ask you if it's coaching or mentoring. So helping teachers align daily lesson logs or DLL with maths is coaching. Okay, it's coaching. It's not mentoring. Later we will decide which one's longer, taking long, coaching or mentoring based on these answers. Now, post-observation meetings targeting one or two key areas for improvement. Um, Say you conducted a classroom instruction and then you targeted one or two key areas for improvement. It's coaching, not mentoring. Guiding new teachers on DepEd policies, culture, and routines. It's mentoring. I remember when I was a teacher at Ligao National High School, when I got to the third year of service in DepEd, and newcomers would join us, our team, I would be tapped by my department head to coach them and mentor them. I would help them get to know the processes, the schemes of the department, how things are done in the department, how to deal with other teachers in the department. They would tap me to train newcomers, even if it's only my third year. I don't know. Maybe because I was too young then to decline the task, but I enjoyed doing it. I enjoyed training newcomers in our department back then. Joint review of teaching philosophies and practices for long-term growth. That's mentoring. Reviewing teaching philosophies and practices for long-term growth. And for coaching, jointly drafting an improvement plan tied to IPCRF targets. So that's coaching, jointly drafting. Okay, we go back. I want you to key in the chat box because we know already that mentoring takes a longer time than coaching. Um, can you summarize in one word what coaching is and what mentoring is? Can you give me a word for to encapsulate coaching and mentoring separately though? Coaching colon. What is your word for coaching? Or a description? Sabi ni Sir Elmer, coaching daw ay technical assistance. Any other answers? Oh, sabi ni Ma'am Larissa na friend ko na sa Facebook, coaching is guiding, mentoring is advising. Good job. Any other responses? Sabi ni Sir Sir ba to? O ni Ma'am? El Manayon, coaching for improvement, improving performance, mentoring for guiding. Sabi ni Ma'am Roma, short-term, immediate. Yeah, short-term, immediate ang coaching. Long-term, consistent ang mentoring. Very good, that's right. And sabi ni Ma'am Catherine, ang coaching ay specific. Sabi ni Ma'am Nimpa, ang coaching ay short-term process. Ang mentoring ay long-term. Very good job, guys. You understood the concept. Coaching is very specific, case to case. Mentoring is long term. It's building relationships. Of course, the rudimentary step to building relationship is coaching first. You need to coach first and then later on advance the pace to mentoring. Coaching is task oriented, correct? And mentoring is relationship oriented. That's good. That's good. If you are not yet taking the NASH, I'm sure you will pass the NASH because you know these things already. Thank you. Good job. Now we proceed. Okay, let's go to the nitty-gritty of coaching. It's an interactive process where raters and ratees aim to close performance gaps, teach skills, impart knowledge, and inculcate values and desirable work behaviors. This is a short-term activity aimed at addressing specific issues or concerns. That's coaching. For you to become an effective coach, you need to have the following competencies. Number one, self-clarity. What are your strengths and weaknesses as a leader? It should be clear to you for you to become a coach, an effective coach. Communication. Are you able to communicate what they need to hear, to know, to understand? Critical thinking. Critical thinking requires or critical thinking is contingent upon your analytical ability and your judgment. There must be analysis and judgment. You need to analyze the situation first and come up with judgment. Evaluate the situation and come up with judgment. That's critical thinking. If you have not come or arrive at a solution or a decision or a general description of the situation, maybe you are not yet thinking critically. You are just at the surface or tip of the iceberg. So critical thinking requires evaluation or analysis and uh, judgment. That's really important. Breaking things to smaller pieces and then synthesizing. Ability to build relationships and inspire. You shouldn't be friend to everyone. According to an old belief, you shouldn't be a friend to everyone. Uh, Partially agree, partially disagree. Anyway, building relationships is case to case basis. It depends on the situation. What's important is uh, you are gaining from that relationship, and the person in that relationship is also gaining something from that situation. Professional gain should be there. Inspire. You should inspire teachers for you to coach them. You will not be a believable coach if you are not able to inspire them. Inspire these teachers, please. Let them know that they can achieve things. Praise their achievements. Praise, recognize their struggles, recognize their difficulties. It's part of the job. Now, to improve our abilities as to improve the abilities of our teachers, we need to coach them. Here are the tips in identifying performance gaps. One, routinely monitor or check employee performance against stated performance metrics or yung mga napag-agrihan na mga milestones or yung mga napagkasunduan na dapat ma-attain for this quarter, for example. Say, you are the key teacher, a master teacher, or as a head teacher, and then the learners must achieve at least 75% proficiency in across subjects during quarterly exams. And then they failed, say in English, they got lower than 75. It should be monitored, it should be checked, and it should be addressed. Okay. If it falls short of the agreed limit or quota, then you need to talk about it. What should we do to rectify? What should we do to improve our performance? Routine checking, consistent monitoring. Two, analyze the task that employee is not doing well. This needs to be voiced out. This needs to be said. Which part is not being done properly? You should talk about this. As future leaders, you need to be candid about this. You can say it in such a way that your followers or subordinates will not get hurt. They will know what needs to be done. They will hear what needs to be heard. Always address the elephant in the room. That's important. Number three, identify the causes, behaviors that interfere with goal accomplishment. If you are an advocate of continuous improvement, because I am an advocate of continuous improvement, I've been trained for 6 months on CI, Kaizen, improving the process. Aside from looking at the plans, the programs, the actions taken, we should also be taking a look or looking at the values or the behaviors that our doers or implementers have when they are implementing the task or accomplishing the task. That's really, really important because you may have a good plan, you may have a sound strategic planning, but you have not so good behaviors or attitudes toward the task, then that could be a factor for the failure. So you need to talk about it. Try to draw facts from other sources when possible. Don't be one-sided. Don't listen to one voice only. Listen to the voice of the customers. In this case, your customers are your teachers, your subordinates, your coworkers. Listen to them, all of them. Avoid premature judgments. Avoid announcing things prematurely. Avoid speaking about things prematurely. Gather the needed data, be data driven when you announce things so that you won't be called biased or unfair in your judgments. Avoid premature judgments. And always, when you talk to them, you always use the we, us. Okay, use we, us. You should be collective. As a leader, even if it's not your fault, it will be your fault at the end of the day because they are under you. You should own up to their mistakes as well. You are going to admit for their mistakes as well. That's what leaders do. But of course, you need to point out the wrong things that they did and then make amends and then rectify. That's important. It's not enough that we say sorry. After saying sorry, it should be coupled with what better uh, ways to doing it should be in place. Now, how do we trace performance, poor performance causes? Say, in this example, this was taken from the RPMS manual. Inefficient processes. Check work processes before looking into faults in the people who run them. It's not about the person running the program, it's about the process. Sometimes it's about the process. There may be steps that could have been eliminated, but because there are stringent guidelines on implementing these processes, um, that's why the result was undesirable. Maybe we need to check the process first before we look at who did the steps, because we really need to talk about it. Uh, but we need to take down uh, important notes on who are running the programs. I'm not saying that you disregard the people who run the program. What I'm saying is you go through the process first, look for faults, and then later on match it with the people who are running the program. Maybe there are correlation to who runs the program and which programs are being run because of these processes. Personal problems, we don't have descriptions for those. There are varying personal problems and they are undefined sometimes. Work overload. Um, Maybe your teachers are overloaded with work. Maybe you need to check class programming. Maybe some teachers are given only 3 loads, 4 loads without class advisories. Maybe some teachers are loaded. Maybe they are already attending to a class as an advisor and they still have other portfolios, other clubs, other organizations. You need to divide the loads properly and fairly among the members of the team. And causes relationships conflict at work. Sometimes jealousy disrupts the organization. So this shouldn't be the case. You empower everyone so that no one will be jealous. No one will feel alone. No one will feel discriminated. So that relationship conflicts will be avoided. If not avoided and lessened. Competition for attention or for a promotion. If one gets promoted, everybody should be promoted from time to time, gradually, not simultaneously, although that's a really, really impossible case to promote everyone at once. They have their time. Explain to them that they need to be strong first before they can face greater challenges. Uh, Jealousy can be avoided, although in an organization is inevitable, but jealousy can be lessened, can be reduced if we have an open line of communication. It's important. Okay, now we go to the 4 steps of coaching. I will not be focusing too much here. This is just a review of the RPM's manual. In your coaching, you have your observation. First, you identify the gaps or opportunity for improvement. Second step is discussion and agreement. After looking at the gaps or opportunity to improve, what actions are to be done? Um, what problems are to be fixed? You should have an agreement. Use your PMCF, performance monitoring coaching form. Use that. Have them sign on that form, PMCF form. It's still being used up to this day. Um, there must be an opportunity to move job performance to not just higher. So if the performance is at level 1, in the next assessment, it should reach level 3, something like that. Number 3, active coaching. You should create and agree on the action plan to address the gap. You should have papers to support that there are problems existing in the teaching and learning processes. You need to have them written and agree on the things that you're going to do with timeline. Follow up, of course, if there's a plan, you need to follow up. You need to set follow up sessions to check on the status of the agreed upon action plan. Um, One example I can share to you is when one of the teachers in our team, math teacher, have difficulty, had difficulty in planning their board because I have introduced to them another Japan technology in instruction we call board planning. Aside from lesson planning, we do board planning, meaning to say whatever um, whatever that's going to transpire in the classroom that is going to use the board, it should be planned. Where do you put the objectives? Where do you put the opening activity? Where are the students going to write their answers? Where are the exercises going to be posted on the board? Where do you write the synthesis? Where do you put the application problem? All those should be planned. And you are not going to erase anything written on the board, or you will not detach anything posted on the board until you reach the evaluation part. All part of the discussion should be there, seen by the learners from beginning to end. That's really, really important because some of the learners may be sleeping or some of the learners may have missed a portion of the discussion, but they can still go back to whatever is posted or written on the board. That's board planning. Um, we started doing this in our school in 2013. We started planning the board. I'm very sorry I got disconnected. Um, my internet is failing me today. I'm very sorry about that. Let me reshare my screen. Okay, are you seeing my presentation already po?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Uh, where were we? Where did we end?
Follow up.
Okay, and follow up. Thank you very much. Okay, the fourth step in our coaching process is following up. You go back to the plan. Has the plan been um, accomplished? I was sharing. I was sharing about board planning earlier. Yeah, the teacher. I oriented the teacher and all other teachers about board planning. I presented to them. There's there was only one way to do it better to for them to better understand what board planning is by showing them how it's done in the classroom. So I did it. I invited them to observe me in my class and how I do it in class, the board planning and the implementation of the board plan. So I invited them, and then they got insights, and then later on, there was a return observation. So I looked at how they did it, and they did it successfully. Up to now, they're practicing board planning, and it's really, really a big help, not only for the teachers but for the learners. If you implement board planning and you look at the notebooks of your learners, you will see that their notebooks are organized. Um, I am not against using PowerPoint presentations in classroom instructions, but we should couple it with board work. We don't depend entirely on using PowerPoint presentations. When you become observers in the class, please look at this. Be aware of what technologies they're using in the class, because maybe they're using PowerPoint entirely when they teach. The learners would not be able to copy everything in the slides because uh, transferring from one slide to another or browsing from slide to slide will be quick. It will be really very quick. So the learners would not be able to cope with the speed of the transition. So you need to plan your instruction by using the board. It's important that they see what's happening. Don't rely too much on PowerPoint presentations. Also, in using PowerPoint, if it's only text, I don't agree with using PowerPoint. But if you use video presentations, audio, then maybe you can use a projector or the television. But if you're just using the projector for presenting voluminous amount of text, I don't think that's going to help you and your learners. It's going to be convoluted. Your learners will not be able to absorb everything. Maybe use visuals if you really want to use PowerPoint presentations and AVR equipment. Use visuals, visualizations, use videos so that it will be a positive use of ICT. I am an advocate of the positive use of ICT. That's why if you can see my presentation, I am limiting my presentations to visuals, less of texts, although there are some slides uh, which there are texts which are inevitable to be included. So I was not able to avoid them, but majority of my slides are visualized. This is for optimum learning. Observe the 7-line rule in using slides. Now we have here, for our next slide, conducting discussion and agreement sessions with your teachers. Okay. This is part of supervision. If you are a newbie as a leader, you need to establish rapport. You need to gain confidence. You need to gain trust. That's one, establishing rapport. Second is objective setting. What do you want to achieve? Is it a long-term objective or a short one? Number three, discussion and agreement proper. What are the things that we ought to achieve? What are the things that we ought to do? What are the things that we need to for us to be able to achieve these things? There should be an agreement and closure. And that's how we talk to our teachers. Everything should be documented. Stills and videos are necessary. You take pictures, you draw, you write minutes. That's how we conduct discussion and agreement sessions with our teachers. You should have your own logbook for your professional development activities. That's important. Now let's talk about it one by one. When you establish rapport, be appreciative of their presence. Thank them for making time for the meeting. Express your hope that you will find the meeting useful. So you need to be vocal in what you want them to feel. You should be intentional in what you want them to feel and know. Second, tell them what they are doing right, express sincere appreciation. Tell your reason for calling the meeting. There must be a reason for the meeting or the discussion. Give feedback on performance deficiency you have observed. You have to point out performance deficiency in a way that they will not get hurt. Do it professionally. Always use rubrics or standards, checklist. Listen with empathy. Give an emphatic response. You start with by paraphrasing what they've said, or um, continuing their statement, or repeating what they've said, or saying that you feel what they feel, or you understand what they understand, and then you continue your piece. That's part of setting the objective. 3, discussion and agreement proper. You should tell them what you want them to know, how it's going to be done, and why it's going to be done. There should be standards of performance. There should be a rating scale. There should be a basis for whatever is going to happen. Model it. If you're a master teacher, you want to see how they teach, you teach first and let them see you teach. That's the better way to making them understand what you want them to do. Then ask them to do it while you observe. Now that I'm a supervisor, I challenge myself. When I visit schools, I would tell them, let me teach your class and watch me teach. Then you can point out perhaps the wrong things I did so that we can improve. And when it's your turn, you will gain confidence because you have seen me teach already in your class. I don't impose that I am the supervisor. I am there to provide technical assistance. And when you provide technical assistance, there's no better way to doing it by modeling it. So when I go to their schools, I have not yet started, by the way, modeling instruction, but I'm giving inputs, focusing on content. I really, really focus on content because pedagogists will just follow if you have rich content. That's important. Give positive feedback or correction, offer suggestions. Don't be imperative though. Even if you suggest, don't be imperative. You let them decide. Start with the phrase, maybe we can do something about this. Maybe there has to be a change in this portion. What do you say? You do that. You don't say, change this, change that, do this, do that. You don't do that. Don't be prescriptive or imperative when you give suggestions. You let them decide on their own because they're professionals. They should know, they would know. Let them know you respect their ability. Of course, you trust them, respect their ability. And let them know you will closely monitor their performance. Know that you are constantly monitoring them. You should be consistent in your monitoring. Hindi pwede na ang monitoring mo ay ningas kugon. You should finish whatever you started when monitoring them. Be there, be present, be regular, be consistent. That's your job as a school leader. 4, share how you feel about the meeting. Are you happy with what transpired? Ask them what they feel also about the meeting. Then schedule a follow-up. Because this is a regular coaching discussion with your teachers, with your peers. There should be another schedule for the next meeting. And appreciate their presence and express confidence that they can do it. Then there should be assurance of your support. Then don't forget to shake hands and smile while maintaining eye contact. That's really, really important. Hard grip, okay? When you shake hands, it should be hard grip, okay? Hold the hand tightly. Not to hurt them, but to make them feel you're there, you're present. It's important. It's a small detail, but it will make a big difference. Trust me. Now we go to the next. About performance coaching, because usually you deal with your teachers on a day-to-day basis, so it should be coaching most of the time. First is you create the right atmosphere by motivating them to learn and improve. Then you let them know their accountabilities so that the results will not be compromised. And then you should try to establish mutual trust. There must be confidence from you to you. And you should ask the right questions. Maybe barking up the wrong tree or beating around the bush for so long already. Iterative questioning without getting to the bottom of the problem. You should ask the right questions. Sometimes the right questions are the hard ones to ask. Sometimes the right questions are the hurtful ones to ask, but you only have one choice. Spill it, say it. They have to hear it from time to time. Sometimes we learn meaningfully the hard way. It's part of professional growth. And practicing active listening. You shouldn't listen to respond. You should listen to understand. That's active listening. Take note of their predicaments, of their challenges, of their achievements. You should listen actively to what they're saying. Now, in your observations and appraisal of teachers, you may follow the STAR model. I know you're aware of this, the STAR model, the situation or task. It can be a situation or a task, or both. And then your action and then your result. You can follow this framework. Now, at the right side, we are talking about appraisal resulting from effective feedback. For your teachers to be successful at what they do, there must be effective feedback. This is a cycle, so you start wherever, whenever. But I suggest you start planning first. Identify and plan learning needs. Let me maximize that. Identify, plan learning needs. Action planning. You must have a template for your action plan, and everybody should be part of the planning of the action to be done, say for the quarter. Say we will have student activity, student-led activity. Who will lead them? Who is the teacher in charge? What specific steps to be taken? What are the materials needed? For how long will it happen? You should be there. They should be there involved in the planning. We have regular feedback. In your feedback giving, it can be through, say, when you check the lesson plans of your teachers, write feedback. Candidly, I do this. I write candid comments in their lesson plans. From time to time, I would draw smileys. I would draw thumbs up in their lesson plans. I would point out the good things that they have in their lesson plans. And also, I would point out areas for improvement because that's my work. So I would usually do that. Review achievements after the feedback. Was there any change? Was there any difference when the next assessment came? There should be something, there should be an improvement after the giving of feedback. And then another plan. Maybe they have already surpassed the challenge, so you can go on to the next problem to be identified and then plan, and then give another set of feedback. It can be informal. You can talk it over lunch, over snacks, over breaks. You can do that. That's more friendly. That's friendlier than in official meetings. Of course, you have to record it in minutes. Annual review, we have this in DepEd, the mid-year, the mid-review, we do this. At the end of the school year, we do that. And then we reward. I remember when I was a master teacher, we created an R&R for the teachers in math. We awarded 3,000 pesos for the best performing math teacher in our group. We set the guidelines. We sought the approval of the school. The 3,000 pesos came from our own pockets, the master teachers. We willingly shared some amount for these teachers because they have done so much for the team. They deserve to be recognized. And then the school saw our initiative, and then I think they were able to allocate funds for that reward and recognition program because they've seen how impactful that is for the teachers. We also had a star awards. For every star that you get 20 pesos, and that's awarded every end of the school year. No, not end of the school year, every end of the year. Say you have completed wearing your school uniform for a month, you will get 1 star. You have no tardiness in entering your class, you get 1 star. You have submitted reports on time, you get 1 star. We would normally earn about 100 stars. 150 stars in a year, that would amount to 2,000 pesos a year, or 3,000 pesos a year of stars. And the teachers, not only the teachers, the non-teaching staff, including the utility, would be very happy receiving their stars during December. And we do this because we recognize their efforts. Uh, we can never ask for anything that we have not shared to them. So let's be generous in providing technical assistance. Using the STAR approach, we plan our action based on the task, and then we implement the action, and then let's see the result. Say in this case, we want to make the teachers productive in the job. So that's the situation. So the action would be to reward their activities, reward their accomplishments, giving them stars. And the result would be uh, heightened, no, not heightened, enriched results, improved results. It happened. Up to now, it's still happening, that star reward system for the teachers. Now let's go to check up. You're going to read the statements that follow and type T for true and F for false. Surprise. So, I will not be disclosing what sentences await you, but all you have to do is to type T for true and F for false. Are you ready? I hope you're ready. And here's the first statement. The interim guidelines, DM17 S 2025, apply starting from the first quarter of SY 2024-2025. True or false? T or F? I'm seeing answers already. O sabi ni Sir Jama, ay I don't know if this is a sir or a ma'am. Mutawali, it's an F. Same with Ma'am Shella and Sir Aljon. Okay, clue. This was the basis for the 1-2 classroom observations that we had last school year. So the correct answer is true. Okay. The answer is true. DM17 Series 2025 officially applies starting school year 2024-2025, replacing the RPMS PPST processes with the PMS. Okay, it's already our PMS, DM17 2025. Let's go to the next. Under DM17, the number of full period classroom observations required for teachers is reduced from 4 to either 1 or 2 in SY 24-25. True or false? Ang bilis na Sir Aljon. Based on experience to, sigurado. Yan, very good, very good, very good. Daming true. Good job, guys. The answer is indeed true. The number of classroom observations is reduced to 1 or 2 depending on option chosen instead of the usual 4 per year. Tama po yun. The plus factor remains included as a key result area under the new interim guidelines. True or false? Okay, I'm seeing a lot of Fs. Okay, the correct answer is false. Wala na po ang plus factor para mag-simplify nung evaluation. Good job, guys. Teacher portfolios are still required under DM17 Series 2025. Kahit ticket po, pwede nyo itong sagutan. correct answer is false. Wala na po, hindi na required ha. So kapag kayo ay mag-observe ng mga classes later, ang hihingin nyo na lang ay classroom observation rating sheets. Yun na lang po, COT. Hindi COT tool ha, COT na, yung TI tool na po. Tapos hindi mo sasabihin na, oh, magkakandak na ako ng COT. Mali din po yun. Magkakandak na ako ng classroom observation. Rated CO. Gamit ang COT or tool. And the interim guidelines require all public teachers, public school teachers, including special education, ALS, madrasa, and IPED teachers to follow the PMS under DM 17 Series 2025. True or false? Sabi ni El Manayon, true. Ni Jenna, true. Sabi ni Audrey, ni Edna, ni Jennifer, ni Raquel, ni Rosalie, ni Ronald, ni Nimpa, ni Agnes, ni Edison, ni Aljo, ni Christine, ni Mutawali. Ang ganda ng pangalan ni Sir, ay ni Ma'am or Sir Mutawali. Annalyn, true. Okay, tingnan natin ang sagot. True. Adjustable to para sa kanila. I know, in-adjust to para sa kanila, not adjustable. In-adjust para sa kanila. And under DM 17, Series 2025, for proficient teachers, the minimum number of MOVs was reduced to at least 4. Is that true? Okay, it's a mix of T and F. Okay, let us see, let us see. Mas maraming true, ano, kaya sa false. Ayan, nagpa-false na sila. Okay, the answer is false. For PTs or proficient teachers, at least 7 MOVs are required. Although fewer than in the previous guidelines. At least 7. Hindi bababa sa 7. So hindi 4. And how about for HPs or highly proficient teachers? The M17 keeps the same number of MOVs required as in the previous guidelines, or false? Okay. Majority ay F. For all of it are F. Okay, the correct answer is false. Na-reduce din po yung hinahanap sa ating mga highly proficient teachers. And I think this is the last one. Teachers who transferred mid-school year can use measures of verification from their previous school for evaluation, but their prior rater's signature is required. Tingnan natin, naghalo ang F sa T. The answer is true. Teachers who transfer may use MOVs from their previous school provided they are validated with the former rater's signature. Halimbawa, galing ka from school A to school B. Hindi ka pa nare-rate sa IPCR mo. Kanino ka magpaparate? Sa former school head mo. Permado pa rin yan. Hindi yung current mo na school head. I hope that's clear. Ay, meron pa pala, sorry. Is the reduction of classroom observations from 4 to 1 or 2 permanent for all future school years under PMS, PPST? Sige po. Bakit po false ang sagot? Sige nga po. Anyone? Sorry, napindot ko na pala. Ayan na. It only applies for 2024-2025. Pero ano yung reason? What's the reason behind limiting the class observations to 1 to 2? Anyone? Yun, transition to ECP. Because we had very limited time, actually. Diba? Ay, sabi ni Ma'am Marlene, reason is pabago-bago din ang DepEd. Totoo naman po. Tama yun, pabago-bago ang DepEd. Yes, Sir Aljun. Yung guidelines talaga ay na-release late ng 2025 because nagkaroon po baga ng pause sa paggamit natin ng RPMS. Diba, merong executive order pausing or postponing the performance management system natin. Nung okay na, naayos na, nasettle na, saka sila nagpalabas nung para sa 24-25. Kaya nalimit na lang sa 1 to 2 class observations. Sabi ni Marlene, like from matatag to enhance NMP to oral program. Yeah. Ang dami pong changes na ang bilis, napaka-liquid at fluid ng ating Department of Education. I hope they institutionalize things already para makita natin yung result. And I agree with you, Ma'am Arlene. Okay, let's just have a short revisit of the performance review cycle. Again, sa inyong IPCR, hindi na po required ang portfolio. Ipinaglaban to ng progressive groups natin na lumalaban para sa karapatan ng mga teachers sa Philippines. So hindi na po kasama ang portfolio sa ating IPCR. We start with performance planning and commitment. Nangyayari po ito kailan? A week before the opening of classes or May to last week. Ganyan po siya nangyayari. Then, magde-develop na tayo based sa SAT and yung signed IPCR. Depende sa IPPD na natin. And then, pangalawa po, performance monitoring and coaching na part 2 or phase 2. Nangyayari ito October to November or end of first semester. Anong output dito? Agreements based on IPCR, IPCR development plans, and portfolio. I understand for the teachers po, pare-parehas ang IPCR kasi pare-parehas ang ginagawa. Sa ibang mga divisions, ang mga school heads, magkakaiba sila ng IPCR. They design their own IPCR based on the context of their leadership, yung situation. Ganun din yung mga supervisors. In my case, meron akong sarili kong IPCR na pre-propose and was approved by the division office. Siguro in the future, mangyayari din yan sa teachers, yung magkakaiba na tayo ng mga i-achieve kasi magkakaiba tayo ng mga context. Pero similar lang naman siguro yung mga pagdadaanan natin. Only that, yung siguro yung klase ng results, yung timeline as to when we achieve such kind of milestone, baka magkakaiba-iba tayo doon. Yun yung tinitingnan nila dito. Part 3, the performance review and evaluation, first week of April hanggang a week after graduation. Performance review na po ito ha. Patapos na. And then rewarding and development planning. Ang hindi ata nagagawa natin dito ay yung rewarding. Ang nagagawa lang natin ay development planning. Ano po, as future leaders, I hope meron tayong reward and recognition ng achievements ng teacher for the entire school year. Importante yun. So that's the cycle. We proceed. Okay, we now go to the details of classroom observation. Alam kong hinihintay po ninyo ito. Dito na tayo sa pag-observe ng classes. Pag mag-observe po ng classes, okay, may sinabi si Ma'am Arlene. Sir, portfolio is no longer required, but principals will also harvest or gather MOVs from the portfolio of the teachers. Tama po yun, ma'am. Hindi na po required ang portfolio. At yung mga MOVs po ni teacher ay pwede pong gamitin ni principal as kanyang MOV. Tama po yun. Legal po yun. May basehan po yun. Sabi Sir Aljon, sir, ano ang difference ng pagsasubmit ng portfolio at MOV? Ano daw yung sense ng hindi pag-require ng portfolio, yung MOVs daw ay nasa portfolio. Tama naman na tanong, sir. That's a meaningful question. Ako kasi ang understanding ko po ng portfolio, ito yung nakalagay sa clear book, may mga tabbing, arranged consecutively based on how the indicators are arranged sa ating IPCR. Kompleto lahat, may designs pa nga, di ba? Yung mga pinapasa natin dati. While sa MOB po, hinihingi lang ito. Halimbawa ako, nung ako ay school head, hindi ko na hiningi sa kanila yung mga MOBs kasi alam ko yung achievements nila. Hawak ko kasi, halimbawa, classroom observation, may hawak ako ng kanilang, may copy ako ng kanilang classroom observation rating. Kasi binibigyan ko sila. Meron akong kopya, merong kopya yung master teacher na kasama kong nag-observe, merong kopya si teacher. So, why on earth would I require them to submit the same kung meron naman ako noon? So, hindi ko na sila nire-require ng MOB sa classroom instruction kasi recorded ko po yun, naka-summarize yun, naka-excel yun, lahat-lahat. As to the programs and projects naman, say yung mga approved proposals, ang hiningi ko lang sa kanila ay yung permadong narrative reports. Yun lang. Kapag nakita ko naman or alam ko naman na ginawa talaga nila at nakita ko yung narrative kasi napirmahan ko naman, di ba? Sana hindi selective amnesia ang magkaroon sa mga pagre-rate na ganito ni school head. Hindi ko na po hinihingi yun. Kasi I take tabs of the achievements of my teachers. Nililista ko ang mga ginagawa nila. May record ako, may logbook ako kasi ako ang nag-assign. Ikaw sa area na to, ito ang mga expected sa'yo. Nililista ko anong pina-approve niyang program. Nakalista yon, ano yung timeline niya, kailan yun natapos. May checklist ako kung nakapag-submit na siya ng narrative report. So hindi ko nahihingin sa kanila ang mga MOVs na alam ko naman na ginawa nila. Na dapat alam ni school head na ginawa yun ng mga teachers nila. So, to answer your question, sir, nagkakaroon talaga ng confusion sa portfolio and MOBs kasi yung iba nilalagay pa rin sa portfolio style na submission. MOB, ipakita mo lang, ito po yung observation ko. Hindi siya naka-arrange logically or chronologically or in order as based on how IPCRF is arranged. Hindi ganon. MOBs yun. Parang measure of verification, proof na nagawa mo talaga siya. Maybe in big schools, like schools with 300 teachers, 200 teachers, kailangan talaga i-present yung MOB sa dami ng mga teachers, lalo pag nag-validate si school head. Kasi I understand, department head na ang nagre-rate. Dapat sa level na department head, hindi na siya gaanong stricto sa mga MOBs na to kung alam naman niya yung mga achievements ng mga teachers niya, yung mga nagawa nila for the school year. Ako din, nung ako ay school head, ako na mismo ang nagsasuggest na i-adjust nila ang kanilang scores kasi minsan they undervalue their performance. Ayaw nilang maging outstanding. Sabi ko, no, you did this. You have accomplished this. You deserve this. Bakit mo bababaan yung score mo? Ako na po yung nagpipilit na taasin nila yung mga scores nila. And ang condition ko pa nga, I will not sign your IPCR kapag hindi mo yan in-adjust kasi ginawa mo naman. I don't want to shortchange the IPCR of my teachers. So dapat alam mo as a school head, ano ang na-achieve nila sa mga panahon na nandun ka sa school. So kung hindi ka naman present as a school head or as a department head, anong basis mo? So mauuwi talaga, Sir Aljon, sa paghingi ng portfolio. Yun ang nangyayari kasi hindi mo alam ang achievement ng mga teachers mo. Kaya hinihingan mo sila ng portfolio. Then, yes po, sir, the problem is when the supervisor who does a frequent visit to school asks for it when in fact the rater is the principal. Isn't the supervisor satisfied or does he not trust the principal? That I cannot answer for the supervisor. Maybe may mga issues prior pa dyan na kaya hindi confident si supervisor sa rating, kaya talagang i-validate niya, which is correct naman. Sound yun. It's a sound process or protocol to be asking for MOVs from the teachers. Kahit si PSDS ay hindi rater, kahit si principal ang rater. Pero the fact na validated na yun ni principal, that should be enough. Pero dahil nga meron silang jurisdiction sa atin, wala tayong magagawa kundi sumunod. Yun po ang dapat nating gawin. Any more? Napunta tayo sa magandang usapan na naman. Thank you, Sir Aljon. Now we proceed to I did number 2 already, pero i-ano ko lang, i-highlight ko yung kailangan mong dala-dala na mga rating sheets. Dapat meron kang inter-observer, kung dalawa o higit pa kayo, meron kang rating sheet, may observation notes ka. Dapat meron ka nun. Later, if there's still time, I'll share to you my observations of specific teachers, pero itatago ko yung pangalan para makita nyo lang kung paano ako mag-observe ng klase so that you will have an idea. Number 3, rate the teacher using the rating sheet. Sana ikaw ay objective sa pag-rate mo sa teacher. Kapag nagawa naman niya, kahit may sama ka ng loob, ibigay mo sa kanya yung score na nararapat. At kung nagkukulang naman, ibigay mo yung score na mababa para mag-improve siya. Yung sakto doon sa standard. Ensure that the classroom observation forms contain accurate information about the teacher and the class observed. Yung detalye, huwag kalimutan. Isulat ang pangalan mo as observer, pumirma ka. Isulat ang pangalan niya as teacher to be observed, papirmahin po. Ilagay ang pet siya. Dito nagkakalituhan sa IPCR, minsan walang pet siya. Maglalagay ng date sa automated IPCR, naghahanapan anong petsa nga ako na-observe, problem yun. So dapat klarado yung detalye. Yung quarter, yung lesson, nakasulat po dapat doon. At bago kayo mag-iwahiwalay, right after dapat ng classroom observation, post-con agad. Hindi pwedeng nagkalimutan na kayo ng rating. Dapat mag-usap kayo agad. Ibigay agad yung rating sheet ni teacher. Ako I practice that. After observation, sa hapon, post-con na tayo. Or kung bakante na sila, post-con na kami. Bigay ko agad yung rating sheet para ma-implement agad yung improvement na kailangan. Kasi pag dinelay mo yung pagpapaalam sa kanila ng areas for improvement, nagkakaproblema, nagkakabuhol-buhol yung quality of instruction natin. Then meet with the teacher after the observation to discuss the results of the observation. I-highlight ko number 5, immediately do this. Okay? Huwag magpalipas ng ilang araw bago kausapin yung teacher. Malilimutan na nila yan lahat, pati ikaw. Ito yung mga modalities ng observation natin. I-recall ko lang based sa DM17 Series 2025. May gumuguhit ng gumuguhit si Vivian. Okay. May artwork nangyayari sa ating screen. It's okay. Ang ating modes ng observation ay face-to-face. Ito yung pinaka po sinusunod natin. We are already in the post-pandemic, so lahat ng observations dapat ay face-to-face na. But when the situation does not warrant, meron tayong 3 pang ibang paraan. We have online synchronous. Online, sabay-sabay mo silang tinuturuan. Online asynchronous, magle-lesson ka pa rin, pero pwedeng recorded and self-paced sila. Ang hirap nitong i-score. We have the via LAC session. Yung teachers ang estudyante mo. Ang pangit din ito. Kasi hindi objective ang rating nito kasi yung mga estudyante mo marurunong. Hindi mo makikita kung magaling ka talaga ng magturo o na-achieve mo yung objective. I would always go for face-to-face classroom observation. Hindi na pala mawawala itong mga guhit-guhit na to. Ano po? I-erase na lang natin. Baka pwede pang ma-erase. Ay, hindi. Si Ma'am Vivian ang makaka-erase nito kasi siya yung nakapagsulat. Anyway, we go to the observation process. Una, dapat may pre-con. Ibig sabihin nito, kung may pre-con, may schedule kayo ng observation. I-inform mo po si teacher, okay, this week you will be observed on what day, on what time, on what period, on what subject ka mau-observe. Dapat may pre-conference. Ipapakilala mo na ngayon kay teacher yung kanyang mga dapat ipakita sa'yo during classroom instruction. Dapat hawak mo na yung rating sheet sa pre-con. May agreement na kayo. Para kung makakuha man siya mababang score, alam niya yung na-miss niyang gawin. So, importante po ang pre-con. This avoids troubles in the future. Kasi meron kayong agreement, di ba? So, importante yun. Next, be diligent in studying the lesson plan of your teacher na obserbahan. So, prior to the conduct of the observation, dapat ipasubmit mo po ang LP. May tanong dito, halimbawa, sir, paano ba kung ang sinubmit ay lesson exemplar? Pwede ba yon? Pwede pong mag-submit ng lesson exemplar as long as may annotations naman siya. As long as meron siyang kakaibang gagawin na hindi entirely yung lesson exemplars. Pero technically, pwede naman talaga ang lesson exemplars na i-submit na lesson plan kasi i-carry out naman niya. Besides, we have issuances supporting the use of lesson exemplars. Pero ako, I would go for may personal touch pa rin si teacher kasi kailangan niyang i-localize at i-contextualize yung kanyang lesson sa mga estudyante na hawak niya. So there must be annotations. Say, in the exercise part, how it's going to be done, anong strategy niya, nakasulat naman doon. Okay po? Susundin po natin ang DepEd order number. Anong DepEd order nga yung sa lesson planning? DepEd order number 42 series 2016 if hindi ako nagkakamali. Doon yun po DLL na reference ang gagamitin natin. Next we have actual observation na. 42, tama Ma'am Christine. DepEd order 42 series 2016. Meron na tayong actual observation. Okay? Dito sa actual observation, sana hindi lang ikaw mag-isa. Pero kung hindi talaga ipapahintulot ng pagkakataon na ikaw lang ang mag-observe as a master teacher or a head teacher or principal, so be it. But everything should be written. Everything should be documented para may basis ka later. Mahirap kasi kapag isa lang ang tumitingin sa classroom observation. Either ma-over-appreciate mo yung ginawa ni teacher or ma-under-appreciate mo yung ginawa ng teacher. So kung dalawa kayo higit pang titingin, mas objective yung ibibigay nyong TA later, ibibigay nyong rating later. Importante yun. In your actual observation in the lesson plan, doon na kayo magsulat ng mga recommendations niyo part by part. Para pag binigay niyo yun kay teacher, i-photocopy niyo po muna para may kopya kayo. Pag binigay niyo kay teacher, alam niya which part ang i-improve niya. That's vis-a-vis your observation notes. So ako, ang sipag ko kasing magsulat, meron akong observation notes, meron pa akong notes doon sa teacher, yung mga specific kong mga recommendations sa lesson plan niya. Kasi baka i-implement yun sa susunod na klase, di magagawa na po niya agad-agad. Sabi ni Ma'am Marlene, sir, as advice po nung pag-training namin sa enhanced curriculum for grade 8 po, ang gamitin namin po is exemplar. But our PSTS po, during basics sa school, ang hinahanap niya po ay DLL, na-confuse na din kami. Sige ma'am, bago ko tapusin tong slide na to, i-address ko na tong iyong concern. Okay. Dito tayo sa concern ni Ma'am Arlene na irony in contrast with Ma'am Christine's message. Okay, i-tackle natin one by one. Nag-training kayo sa enhanced curriculum at pinapagamit ang exemplars. So there should be a basis for you you being allowed to use exemplars. Ako personally, ang alam ko allowed tayong gamitin ng exemplars sa ating lessons. Kailangan mo lang mag-annotate ng mga ginawa mo. So there's nothing wrong about it. Besides, ang ating pong exemplars ay nakasunod sa DepEd Order number 42 series 2016, yung DLL type. Nakasunod po yun doon. Yung sa enhanced curriculum training natin, nakasunod po siya. Ang sabi ni Ma'am Christine, Sa PLD officials from the central officer during our session po on validation of compendium of pedagogies, exemplar should not be submitted as LP. That's their opinion. Walang policy na nagsasabi na bawal, Ma'am Tin. Yung term na should not be, that should be backed up with an issuance na hindi pwedeng i-submit ang lesson exemplars. They may have said it na wag i-submit, pero it should be backed up by an issuance. Otherwise, silent yun. So if it's silent, meaning to say, allowed yun na gamitin ng teacher. So we go with that silence sa issuances natin. So we need to know ang kanilang stand on this. Dapat magpalabas sila ng issuance stating explicitly na ang exemplars ay hindi pwedeng gamitin ni teacher na i-submit bilang LP, lalo nag-annotate naman siya. Kasi what's the use of crafting exemplars, polishing them, making them flexible and applicable to all sorts of learners, all kinds of learners, kung hindi ipapagamit, di ba? Sayang sa resources. Siguro sa rated, doon tayo magkakadiferensya. Baka ang hinihingi ng mga observers sa inyo ay yung ginawa nyo talaga na lesson plans. Baka doon magkakadiferensya. And kung hingin man nila yun sa inyo, I think that's okay. Yeah, I agree with you, Ma'am Tin. You should prepare your LP, but you can use exemplars and make annotations. Making annotations on the lesson exemplars is one way of preparing your lessons. Ako, in my case, when I go to schools, I encourage them to use exemplars because those are quality assured already. But I don't encourage them to use lesson plans on a weekly basis. I want them to prepare LPs daily. Say this exemplar is going to be used today. They need to do annotations, adjustments, because sorry, nawala po ako ulit. Basically, we have, Ma'am Tin, your last sentence, we can base from the exemplar or provide annotations. Basically, we're lifting things from the exemplar and provide annotations. Note down our changes, note down our supplement and complement to the material. Because the clamor of the teachers in the field, nauubos daw ang kanilang oras sa pag-prepare ng lesson plans. That's why the Department of Education are quality assuring lesson exemplars. And I go for preparing your own lesson plans on a daily basis, be it reference on exemplars or personally done lesson plans. As long as it's done daily, that's good. Any more concerns? I would like to clarify that I'm not imposing the use of exemplars. That's just based on how we do it in our division. In the case of mathematics, I allow them to maximize the benefit of the exemplars because they are quality assured. Yes, Ma'am Arlene, I agree with you. That's the rationale behind it. They're providing exemplars so that the teachers can focus on the delivery of instruction. But we need to consider the achievements of the learner on a daily basis. That's why we need to annotate our exemplars. In the case of Ma'am Christine, their exemplars are not accepted. So again, it's the role of the Department of Education to be issuing a protocol or a guidelines explicitly stating that exemplars can be used by the teachers and school head should not bar them from doing so. Okay, we can go back to the issues later. Kung meron pa, babasahin natin yan agad-agad. Tama po, Ma'am Arlene. Kaya dapat talaga merong explicit talaga na issuance stating nga kung ano ang mangyayari. Don't worry, I'll be raising this concern to our implementation division chief and maybe, just maybe, baka magka-ripple effect, baka makaabot din sa central office. Or maybe, meron naman pala akong kakilala sa central office, I would ask him personally about this. Because this is a good point. Nakita ko yung point ni Ma'am Christine na as teachers, dapat namamanage natin yung pagsusulat ng lesson plan kasi pinag-aralan natin yan. Doon naman sa side ng time, ang problema natin ay nauubos talaga yung oras sa pagplan ng lesson. Mabuti kung nagtuturo lang tayo. Paano kung nag-deworm pa tayo? Paano kung nag-feeding pa tayo? Paano kung nag intervene pa tayo? Ang dami nating iba pang ginagawa. Correct, Sir Aljon. Yung kanya-kanyang interpretation ng mga bagay-bagay. Okay, now, in your post-observation, make sure that this happens immediately after the class observation. Don't wait for another lifetime before you talk to the teachers that you have observed. Let them know what needs to be done, what needs to be improved or polished. They need to know their rating as well. Don't let the rating sheets acquire cobwebs in the shelf. You must tell them what happened. There must be a post-observation conference immediately after. Now let's go to the frequency of classroom observations. First, we have the regular short period walkthrough observations. Ginagawa ko po ito dati nung ako ay TIC pa. I would go around the campus every hour nung mga unang weeks, every hour ko siyang ginagawa because I was establishing a routine. Every day po, every hour, umiikot ako, tinitingnan ko kung in place ang mga estudyante, kung nagtuturo ang mga teachers. At doon na rin sinasabay ko yung cleanliness monitoring, yung orderliness, yung peace sa school, tinitingnan ko din po siya. At nakikinig na ako ng mga instructions ng teachers kahit dumadaan lang sa classroom. Walk-through observations. Kasama yan ng regular walk-around monitoring, yung pangalawa. Yung una, pwede kang pumasok, say 10 to 15 minutes, pumasok ka sa classroom. And then you just listen to the gist of the discussion. Kumbaga, targeted mo lang yung gusto mong makita or ma-check na ginagawa ni teacher. Hindi mo kailangang tapusin ng instruction. So, pero dapat informed yung teachers na mangyayari to. Meron namang mga unannounced, pero i-inform mo pa rin sila na, there will be an unannounced, ironic, di ba? There will be an unannounced classroom observation. Hindi natin alam kung sinong papasukin, just be ready. Ako, sinabi ko sa kanila na daily pwede akong pumasok sa inyo. So, lagi silang ready. Hindi naman sila gaanong na-stress. Meron pa ring stress, pero hindi gaano. Kasi, pinaparamdam natin sa kanila na whenever they need technical assistance, ibibigay natin sa kanila. They need resources, kailangan nila, bond papers kailangan nila para mapabuti yung instruction, ibinibigay natin sa kanila. So there is no way, I think, for them to be too stressed kapag sinabihan sila na, merong unannounced observation. Kasi binibigay naman natin yung pwede nilang makuha mula sa school sa resources. In-improve natin yung internet, buong school may internet connection na, pininturahan yung mga classroom para maging bright at stimulating, inayos yung mga upuan, binigyan ng mga laptops yung teachers, may mga printers sila tig-isa. So I don't think this will hamper the classroom observations kahit 10 to 15 minutes lang at most. Hindi naman daily, sana regularly, kahit weekly, pwede mo siyang gawin. Yung regular walk ang pwede mong gawin. Hindi mo kailangang pumasok sa classroom. Iikot ka lang sa mga classrooms, makikinig ka ng mga conversations, jot down important or salient na mga conversations. And later, sa general school policy making, for example, when it comes to instruction, isasabay mo na siya doon. And i-validate mo muna kung talaga bang nangyari yun, totoo yun. Those are your regular short period walk-through observations, non-rated, formative, developmental, and the regular walk-around monitoring. Kaya dapat si department head, si master teacher, or si school head, umiikot din po sila on a daily basis. Kahit hourly pa yan, umiikot sila, not necessarily entering the classroom. Makita ka ng teacher na ikaw ay seryoso sa ginagawa mo consistently and constantly, aayusin din nila yung trabaho nila kasi may nagmamatsyag din sa kanila. Pero i-provide mo muna yung mga pangangailangan nila para win-win situation. Then, regular in-classroom observations, ito na po yung entire period, uupo ka doon, inform si teacher at rated yung observation. Dito na yung meron kang pre-con, dito na yung alam ni teachers anong bahagi ng assessment ang titingnan mo sa kanya, ano yung i-rate, ano yung pagtutuunan ng pansin, dapat alam ni teacher. Hindi pwedeng makakaramdam ng betrayal yung teacher na hindi naman natin napag-usapan tapos hinanap mo sa akin rated pa. For the purpose of technical assistance, pwede mong sabihin na, oh, this is not part of the rating factors. This is just for technical assistance to improve the craft. O pwede mo yun ipasok sabihin sa post-lesson discussion. And of course, all should be documented. Okay? From pre-con down to the post-lesson discussion, dapat documented siya for verification later, for later reasons or purposes. Importante yun na documented. Walang sinabi si DepEd na ang pag-observe ay monthly, walang sinabi na quarterly, pero dahil sa career progression, parang ang lumalabas ay regular ng observation para ma-ready tayo or i-ready natin yung mga teachers. So, depende sa planning po ninyo. Pwede yung rotational ang pagpapa-observe. Say the first rounds would be non-rated, the next rounds will be rated para ma-prepare sila. Yung conditioning, importante yung conditioning. Okay, let's have this case led. I'll be giving you a few minutes to read this, and then let's answer the two questions that follow. I'll give you time to read silently. And you can send your answer to the chat box. Okay, maybe we can answer this orally already, but let's first read the case set for everybody's consumption. The title is The Data Dilemma. After analyzing assessment data, you notice that one teacher's class consistently underperforms compared to others. In observations, you see engaging lessons but limited checks for understanding. The teacher is unaware of the performance gap and says, my students love my class, they're learning a lot. So that's the case. Here's the question one. How would you use the data in your supervisory feedback? Paano mo to sasabihin sa teacher yung data na yun? Anyone? You can open your mic and perhaps give an answer or an insight. Anyone? Or you can key in your answer in the chat box and we'll just read it. Anyone po? May sagot sa number one? Okay, ang sabi ni Sir Elmer, first is to point out the positive result based on the data. Second is to mention the underperformance and follow the solution as TA. Sana tama ito. Okay, yung data ay yung assessment data, underperformance ang meron yung estudyante. Pero nung nag-o-observe na ina-observe si teacher, yung mga estudyante ay nabibigyan naman ng engaging lessons. Ang kulang lang ay limited checks for understanding. Maybe kulang sa formative assessments. So paano daw natin gagamitin to? Ang sabi ni Ma'am Larissa, I'd show the assessment data, for example, the class average compared to the grade level mean, and link it to my observation that while lessons are engaging, there are a few checks for understanding. I'll highlight the teacher's strength in keeping students motivated. That's good. This is good. You highlight. Tama. Ito yung siguro yung positive na gustong sabihin ni Mr. Elmer, yung i-highlight yung kagalingan ng teacher para mag-motivate ng estudyante. And ask how we can use simple strategies like quick quizzes or exit tickets. Tama yun. This way, the talk stays supportive and focus on the student growth, not blame. Tama po ito. This is a friendly environment that you're building here, Ma'am Larissa. That's really, really good. Sabi ni Ma'am Raquel, the data could be used as the basis for the key areas for coaching and mentoring for better assessment results and for the teacher's personal improvement in her teaching or instruction to capacitate the teachers with teaching strategies for effective teaching. Siguro focusing on assessment kasi kailangan natin ng checks for understanding. I can see in your lesson plans that you really design engaging activities for your students. It's a good sign of planning your class. Wow, very good to. Positive ang start. However, I did not see any understanding checks. Maybe we can talk about revising your next lesson so we can achieve your objective. We have to make sure that our students learn while enjoying the activities. Tama ito. Gusto ko ring dugtungan itong sinabi ni Ma'am Jennifer na dito sa second statement niya, siguro ipakita na natin yung result while we say this. However, there are lacking understanding checks in your lessons. as validated by our results. So ito, nagsasabi yung result na nag-underperform yung mga estudyante kasi kulang tayo nito. So pwede naman yun, hindi na masasaktan si teacher niyan kasi data-driven yung ating coaching. Complement the teacher first, highlighting the positive aspects. Tama yun. For providing an engaging lesson. Then ask whether their strategies are effective. Ask for issues experience. Tama din to. Good point, Ma'am Christine. Kailangan tinatanong din natin yung ating mga teachers kung ano ba yung mga challenges or issues na na-experience nila sa pagtuturo. Baka nakikita natin na engaging yung lessons pero may pinagdadaanan si teacher personally or professionally. Kaya hindi niya nagagawa yung mga dapat gawin. Then present the result of the assessment. Then tama, RCA na or root cause analysis na para makita natin yung problema. Teachers should rely on data and statistics, sir. Tama. Gaya ng paghingi sa atin ng mga higher ups sa mga results kasi ito ang ginagawa nilang basihan. Then doon na po ipasok yung pagbibigay ng TA and coaching sa teachers. Tama, dapat data-driven. Meron daw misconception sa part ng teacher, sabi ni Sir Aljon. She thought that having engaging lessons make learners learn a lot better. But she must know that learning doesn't merely take place on making lessons enjoyable. Now, the coaching process will take place, correct? Dito ka na papasok. But first and foremost, talk to and give feedback constructively. Tama naman yun. Makatao pa rin, pero pino-point out pa rin natin yung mga kakulangan. Although we're kind, we're firm. Okay? There is kindness and firmness. Importante yon na kind ka pero firm ka. Acknowledge the engaging activities done by the teacher. Yes, because the teacher put effort in making the lessons enjoyable. Ask the latter about the result of the assessment. Present the data of the assessment. Let the teacher analyze the gaps. Ask the teacher on how the result of the assessment can be improved. Ito namang atake ni Ma'am Rosaline, si teacher muna. This one is non-directive. Yung supervision approach niya sa coaching niya. Ibibigay muna niya yung problem sa teacher, let her or him analyze the situation or the data, and then pabayaan siyang mag-decide paano, ano yung mga gaps, ma-identify niya, then kung paano may improve. Then magbibigay na siya ng TA. Very good naman na approach yun. Ibig sabihin, we are giving the teacher the freedom and the opportunity to solve the problem. Baka hindi lang talaga niya yung nakikita. She needed another pair of eyes to see the problem. And that's you, coming from you. Very good po yun. To ensure healthy and peaceful conversations, employ sandwich method. Good side, bad side, good side, so the teacher during coaching becomes receptive and open. Tama naman po ito. Kay El Manayan galing. Yung tama, mali, tama, mali, tama, mali. Then solutions. Ano yung solutions na pwede natin gawin sa mga mali na yun? Any more valuable insights from you? I'm just going to present one caselet because the rest of the caselets will be your output for tomorrow. I'll be giving 4 caselets that you will have to address for tomorrow's asynchronous activity. Yun po yung output ninyo. So this one is a sample caselet. So maybe you can get insights from the feedback here, the answers of other participants, if you weren't able to follow through the task. Nasagot na natin yung dalawa, di ba? Ang daming style na lumabas dito. Style ng mga leaders to be or leaders na siguro sa instruction or sa school. Binigay yung laya sa teacher na alamin ang kanyang problema o ipakita yung data and then provide technical assistance. Meron namang ano yung mali, ano yung tama, ano yung mali, ano yung tama, then solutions na let's agree. Yun yung nakikita. Merong puso pa rin sa pagsasabi sa teacher. Kasi at the end of the day, magkakampi dapat si teacher at si school leader sa pag-address ng mga problems na to. We don't antagonize our teachers. Let's not be villainous in giving recommendations to our teachers. Kasi sila yung kasangga natin. Pag iniwanan tayo niyan, mag-isa na lang tayong nagmamanage ng school. Wala na yung pakialam. They will grow indifferent sa cause natin sa school. So we need to treat each other cordially, professionally. Importante yon while we are addressing problems. Pero dapat in kindness, there must be firmness. Hindi pwede na nadadaan tayo sa lambing-lambing din. Dapat, while may kindness, firm tayo na i-point out, mali ito. Kailangan natin itong i-improve. Or hayaan silang mag-point out nung mali and then anong pwedeng gawin. Let's agree, anong pwedeng mangyayari para ma-improve ito. Yan, tama po yun. Okay. I have received insightful responses. Thank you very much. Confident ako na kapag kayo ay meron ng role na mag-supervise, gagawin niyo yung tama. Affirm the teacher's strengths, reinforce that their ability to engage students is valuable and a great foundation for deeper instructional growth. Ako naniniwala dito, Ma'am Audrey Rose, na kapag masaya ang klase, may oportunidad na matuto sila. May pagkakataong matuto sila kapag masaya ang klase. Kailangan na lang nating dugtungan, i-complement ng mga consistent na formative assessments. Dapat yung assessment na tutuhugin lahat ng ating objectives. Importante yun. And please take down notes ng mga binabatong questions ni teachers during class delivery, lesson delivery. Isulat niyo po lahat ng tanong na binabato niya. Para later, yung arrangement ng questions, baka pwede niyo mapag-usapan. And then, kung dalawa kayo, ikaw ay naglilista ng mga tanong ni teacher, may naglilista ng mga sagot ng estudyante. And together, kayong dalawa, nililista niyo yung strategies, yung mga nagaganap sa klase. Dapat may focus ang observation. And when you conduct observations, by the way, friends, you're not allowed to talk to each other. Kung merong kailangang pag-usapan na minimal, sige. Pero kung the entire time, nagbubulungan kayo, napipressure po ang inoobserbahan nyo at mali yun. Sa manual ng observation namin sa lesson study, we are not allowed to talk to each other. Kanya-kanya kami, galit-galit kami muna kapag nag-observe ng classes. Kasi meron kaming focus. Sabi ni Sir Aljon, this happens when you are too focused on making learners enjoy the class yet forget the value of doing it. Tama yun. Yung, ano ba yung deliverables for the day? Hindi naman to make them happy lang, di ba? Dapat may matutuhan sila. And how do you know that they're learning? You assess them. Importante yun. Sabi ni Ma'am Raquel, I always advise my mentees to incorporate self-assessment on the part of the learners to check if the students really grasp the lesson with comprehension and what need more to explain in the delivery of the lesson. Open-mindedness is needed through though on the part of the teachers. Tama po, mahirap kasing mahirap ipilit ang ibang mga bagay-bagay sa mga teachers, lalo sila, yung mga professionals naman. Pero ang nakakalungkot, professional sila, pero yung iba, sad to say, hindi nila napapanindigan yung pagiging magaling na teacher, pagiging equipped na teacher. So, kailangan pa rin i-point out talaga yung mga pangangailangan nila through FGDs, through focus group discussions or post-lesson discussions. Doon natin sasabihin sa kanila lahat-lahat. Ayan, ang ganda-ganda ng ating usapan sa caselet na to. There are 4 interesting caselets that I have included in your output for tomorrow. So, I know mag-i-enjoy kayo doon kasi decision-making po yun. I will still be reading insights later kung meron pang magsisend. We proceed po. Now, ito po ay galing sa ating DM17. Rehash to nung sa RPMS natin. Gusto ko lang po itong i-point out kasi sa classroom observation nagkakalituhan tayo. O, kailan magbibigay ng 3, kailan magbibigay ng 7. Iklaruhin lang natin ito. This one is for the proficient teachers. Ano po? For level 3, organizing ang level ni teacher. Seldom naman na nabibigyan ng isang teacher ng ganitong score. The teacher demonstrates a limited range of loosely associated pedagogical aspects of the indicator. Kapag may pre-con, hindi ako maniniwala na si teacher ay makakakuha ng 3. Kasi na-orient sila ng mga dapat nilang ipakita. Imagine loosely associated pedagogical aspects. I don't think meron tayong teachers na mabibigyan ito kung kayo ay nagbibigay ng pre-con bago pa man. 4, developing demonstrating a range of association na mayroon ng association ng pedagogical aspects of the indicator that sometimes align with the learner's developmental needs. So data-driven na but manaka-naka, hindi always, sometimes lang po ito. So nagde-develop na si teacher ng practice ng pag-associate ng pedagogical aspects niya na nakadepende sa pangangailangan ng estudyante. 5. Applying. The teacher demonstrates a range of associated pedagogical aspects of an indicator that usually align with the learner's developmental needs. Nagkakaiba lang sa sometimes at usually. Malapit nang maging always yung ating usually. Applying na siya. Consolidating, pagsasama-sama. Uses well-connected pedagogical aspects of the indicator consistently aligned with student development that supports students to be successful learners. Ito, consistent na ang practice ni teacher sa kanyang pedagogical aspects. Kumbaga, ito na yung mga teachers na routine na sa kanila ang mga ginagawa nila. Meron ng practice, meron ng parang internalization ng routine nila sa classroom management. 7. The teacher uses well-connected pedagogical aspects of the indicator to create an environment that addresses individual and group learning goals. Ito, may focus na, targeted na ang kanyang instruction. Pwedeng pang individual or pang group learning ang mga goals niya. Kasi may integration na, may gamit na ng ibang mga bagay-bagay like literally integrating the lesson to another concept. Yun na yung ginagawa ni teacher. Mayaman niya ang kanyang mga strategies, yung kanyang aspeto ng pagtuturo. Pedagogy is how to teach. The content is what to teach. Then coupled with technology. Yung TPAC natin, remember TPAC, the Technological Pedagogical Content Knowledge. Importante yun. Dapat nadadala yun ni teacher. TPAC is a complement to the 21st century skills that you want our learners to possess. So dapat meron tayong idea ng TPAC na dapat makita natin sa teachers natin. We capacitate them to actualize TPAC in the classrooms. Kasi ang benefit nito ay yung attainment ng 21st century skills ng ating mga bata. Pasadahan lang natin ang 21st century skills. Yung aking version na alam, tatlo siya, the learning skills, life skills, and ano yung isang L, literacy skills. Yung literacy skills natin, technological literacy, we have the media literacy, and we have the technology, media, the other literacy. Ano nga yung isa pang literacy? EMT. Digital literacy. We have other skills like the FLIPS, ang acronym ay FLIPS. Flexibility, leadership, initiative, productivity, social skills. Dapat meron ang estudyante nito. And the 4 C's, ang dami ng C's actually, hindi na lang 4. Yung collaboration, communication, creative thinking, critical thinking. Those are some of the many 21st century skills that we want our learners to possess after their education. Dapat ang kanilang focus ay lifelong learning na para ma-sustain, ma-reinvigorate ang mga skills na to sa kanilang day-to-day na mga encounters or endeavors. Next we have this one. Importante po ito. Hindi ko to i-discuss pero gusto ko lang i-point out po na dapat dala nyo ito kapag kayo ay nag-observe ng klase. Ito po yung basihan nyo bakit sila makakatanggap ng 7, makakatanggap ng 6 hanggang 3. Ito po yun. May mga features of practice. Basis po ito ha. Ito po ang dalhin ninyo para hindi kayo mawala, hindi kayo masisi na mali yung score na binigay ninyo sa inoobserbahan ninyo. Halimbawa, kailan makakatanggap ng 5, features of practice. The teacher displays comprehensive understanding of the concepts and structure of the discipline. The teacher addresses content accurately and makes connections across discipline. 5 yun. Kapag kompleto na itong 3, 4, 5, pinagsama-sama mo to 7 yun. Pababa ang appreciation natin. Okay po, please bring this manual, itong rubric po. sa ating classroom observations. Importante na dala po ninyo ito. Now, this one is for highly proficient. Sa highly proficient, 4 ang umpisa, developing hanggang discriminating 8. So 7, integrating. Kinuha yung 4 to 7 doon sa proficient teachers. Kasi ang understanding dapat, itong 4 to 7, halos nagagawa na ng master teachers. Kaya, kumbaga, one level up tayo. Discrimination na. Everything summarized, discriminating. Ibig sabihin, nagawa mo na yung 4 to 7 lahat-lahat, nagdi-discriminate ka na. Yun ang ibig sabihin nun. Pag nagbabawas ng bawat isa, meron kang isang concept na hindi pa nagagawa o na-actualize. So please bring this in your classroom observation. Kung ikaw ay school head, mag-observe ka ng master teacher, dalhin mo po ito. Importanteng dala mo to. Kagaya din po nito, dalhin mo din po ito sa classroom pag mag-observe. Okay, let's go to our open forum. Ito na yung ating pagkakataon para pag-usapan ang mga bagay-bagay. Do you have questions? We are nearing the end of our presentations. Later, ipapakita ko na po yung QR para sa inyong output for tomorrow. But here, mag-reconcile tayo ng mga issues and concerns if you have. Along leadership, along supervision. If you have questions, we can address them already here. Or maybe you can share insights ng inyong mga pinagdadaanan bilang either subordinate or bilang isang nagpapasunod. Sige, try nating gawing medyo challenging yung ating gagawin. We are not going to talk about names. If you are to rate your current school leaders, off the record nyo na lang to, Sir Jay, sa posting nyo sa YouTube. Para lang mapag-usapan natin, para meron tayong basis for conversation. If you are to rate your current school leaders from 1 to 10, 10 being the highest and 1 the lowest, ilan ang i-rate nyo sa kanila?